The moment of truth is almost upon us. All the talk, all the interviews, all the social media back and forth, all the predictions, it's nearly over. And very soon, this Saturday, the fight comes down to two men in that glorious square that we call a boxing ring. And I know a lot of people have disagreed with the angle I've taken on this fight. Pretty much since it was announced, I focused heavily on the mind games, and a lot of the comments have been quite strong. People have said you're putting too much emphasis on the mind games. They won't matter on the night. The argument has been that Moses Itauma is going to be too powerful, is going to be too quick, he's going to be too agile, he's going to be too explosive.
Into a huge star at the top of this pugilistic tree. Oh! That's it! One recover from that. Fight's done. Corner in. Itauma wins in one. And it's
and that Filip Hrgović is too slow and easy to hit.
got some speed as well. Oh, nice shots from Shang. Just had an effect there on Hergovic.
I mean, these are big shots going in here from both men. There he is again, just look at that.
And they got a point. You know, Filip Hrgović is pretty easy to hit. And I understand that perspective. You know, many people are looking mainly at those physical attributes, the different styles of the two fighters. But I've been more interested in the psychology, because for me, a boxer's mindset can often be just as important, sometimes more important than the physical side. It comes down to desire, it comes down to composure, it comes down to how you react when things aren't going your way. You can see fighters over the years who don't look like the most impressive physical specimens in the world, but they find a way to win. They may be fighting someone who's bigger, leaner, stronger, that looks more athletic, but they find a way because they're mentally tougher, they're calmer under pressure, and absolutely determined not to break. And that's why psychology matters so much in boxing. It matters in all sports, but boxing, when it's just one-on-one, there's no margin for error. You can't just pass the ball to a teammate. Now look at Tyson Fury over the years, and whatever people say about, you know, his physical shape at different points throughout his career, the mental side has always been one of his great strengths. He's a great example because he's shown resilience, he's shown belief, he's shown what recovery looks like. We all remember the knockdown with Wilder where, you know, he's out and literally with 2 seconds to go, it was almost miraculous, wasn't it? He just bounced up. That is what I'm talking about. It's that mentality that can win you the fights. I'm not going to lose. This is my final prediction on how this fight could play out. Interestingly, I've noticed that as the fight draws nearer, some of the big pundits, it's almost as the fight gets nearer, they're almost kind of breaking out of this echo chamber and this hype bubble, and they're looking at the facts. You know, one of those highly respected boxing guys, Dev Sani, who does tend to take a nuanced view. He doesn't kind of just go with the narrative, if you will. And, you know, he's released a video recently. I'll drop a link in the description and go and watch it. It's really interesting. But he makes a couple of really good points.
There's almost this kind of feeling that all he has to do is rock up and just collect his belt. He's just got this Croatian fella in the way. Just move him out of the way. Go and get your belt. Go and make history. It's the same venue that Anthony Joshua became world heavyweight champion 10 years ago. IBF world heavyweight champion as well. It's all just there on a plate for him. But there's a big problem. There is a big problem. And I think that Filip Hrgovic's credentials are really being downplayed.
And remember, this is somebody who's lived and breathed professional boxing. And he made the point that people may be underestimating Hergovic. He goes on to lay out his career path and all his achievements. And I agree with that. You know, I still stand by the belief that we are going to see the very best version of Filip Hrgović on Saturday night. I mean, think about this. He's 34. You know, he's not that old, and he's a man. You know, this guy isn't a youngster. He's a man. He really is at his prime right now. And he wants to bring this home, not only for himself, but for Croatia. He's a massive patriot. And he wants to be world champion. You know, his entire journey has been about becoming world champion. You know, this is not a prospect that's taken a step up. This isn't somebody that's past his best, that's giving some youngster a run out. You know, this is an experienced heavyweight, and he'll understand exactly what's on the line on Saturday night. Dev Sani made another point, which I thought was absolutely bang on the money, and that is, you know, probably for the first time for Hergovic, he's going to be going into this fight, and all the pressure is going to be on his opponent's shoulders with Moses Itauma. It's all right having all this hype, but with that comes pressure on Moses Itauma's shoulders, and they're very young shoulders at that. So you've got to add that into the mix as well. Now, look, we know that Moses Itauma is massively talented. Come on, you know, this is why everybody's excited. He's explosive. You know, people compare him to Mike Tyson. He's quick, you know, we've all seen what a lighter, more agile heavyweight can do. We only have to look at Usyk, who's dominated the heavyweight division for so long. You don't have to be a huge giant of a man to be successful in this division. Speed, agility, power is really, that's the recipe for success. So we know why everybody's excited. I'm excited. But Moses Itauma is going to be going into a different fight on Saturday night. He's going to be going in with somebody that's seriously ambitious, that's experienced. We've seen the resilience of Hergovic when he's been in deep waters and in trouble. And, you know, he will believe that he can beat Moses Itauma. I still believe Filip Hrgović wins this fight. You know, I'm sticking to that. And I think it could be a shocking victory for a lot of people, because I don't think this is going to go the distance. If Hergovic can get through those first couple of rounds, when Moses is going to be his most dangerous and his most explosive, I believe the fight changes. I think Hergovic's strength, his experience, his timing, his physicality could take over the fight. And I think we could see a stoppage from Filip Hrgović. And yes, that's what I'm saying. I think Hergovic could stop Moses Itauma. Do I want Moses Itauma to do well? Of course I do. He's a British heavyweight prospect. And as I say, you know, he's got huge potential. And the division is so much more interesting when you've got some youth coming through rather than just the old guard. But I have to put the patriotic side of this to one side. And I genuinely believe on the night, Filip Hrgović could prove to be the better fighter. I think he could simply be too strong for Moses Itauma. And I also think Moses' punches may not have the same impact that they had on his highlight reel. Can he win? Of course he can win. You know, he's fast enough, he's sharp enough, and he's talented enough to make me look completely foolish. But when you're fighting a man like Hergovic, the margins become smaller. You cannot get emotionally involved. You cannot chase the knockout recklessly. And you cannot make mistakes in the pocket. And that brings me back full circle to the mind games. If Moses Itauma has been rattled at all by the discussion around him, by the comments, the interviews, the lack of respect, the refusal of Filip Hrgović to give him props, then this could matter.
We'll see.
I fought Olympic champions, world champions, everyone. I spar everyone. I never was on the ground. No one. But we don't know.
No, you're disrespecting.
I wouldn't say Dempsey McCain, I wouldn't say Dillian White, I wouldn't say Jermaine Franklin are nobodies. I mean, Dempsey McCain took you a number of rounds.
Yes.
Come on, you're disrespecting my opponents now. You're disrespecting Dillian White. You're disrespecting Dempsey McCain.
Dillian White was over the hill. Everyone knows that. Franklin came totally unprepared, so over the hill. He's old already. So,
But on August the
they are
29th...
good. They were good names, but far, you know, over the hill.
What was you doing at 21?
Me? I was boxing WSB.
There you go.
Harder fights than.
And I was 20 years old and you was boxing on my undercard. Give me some prep.
And at 21...
Give me some
If
props.
I was British,
give me some
if I
props.
was British, you were boxing on my undercard.
Give me some props,
Imagine
man.
if you didn't come to Great Britain. Where are you from? From Slovakia, right? Imagine if you stay in Slovakia. No one would ever heard of you, man. So you're from Great Britain. You got everything. You was youth world champion. I was myself, but no one didn't give a about me because I was Croatian. You know, so it's different. I don't really disrespect you. This is just the truth. You know, it's different when you come from Croatia, when you come from Great Britain. This is the biggest boxing country in the world. So it's easy for you guys to make superstars, but that's the truth. I'm not disrespecting you, but that's the truth.
With what I've got to say, at 21 years old, I've beaten some good names.
You have?
I've beaten some good names. And I even knocked out a guy at one of my easiest fights. I knocked him out in one round that you went 11 rounds with, or 12 rounds with.
After I beat him.
Give me some props, man.
After I beat him.
Give me some props. You went 12 rounds with him, 11 rounds with him, whatever.
Yeah,
I done
so
it in one round.
So what?
So what I'm trying to say is give me some props.
I don't give you any props.
Fine.
And I've noticed moments where Moses has seemed frustrated by it. He's articulate, he's confident, and in many ways, he's very mature for his age. But I'm not completely convinced by his emotional maturity at this stage in his career. And that's not an insult, you know, he's a very young man. But against an experienced heavyweight, emotional control is absolutely vital. If Moses goes in there angry, trying to prove a point, trying to look good, you know, one of the things that Hergovic said, which in a roundabout way was giving him props, but it was very strategic, was that if you knock me out like you did Dempsey McKean, I will shake your hand. He wants Moses to go in there to make a statement. Hergovic's best chance is for Moses Itauma not to be disciplined. And that's the older brain, that's the wiser fox of a brain that's playing out here. So I can see Moses getting caught in the pocket. I can see Hergovic countering him. And yes, I can see Moses Itauma getting knocked out. That's my final prediction. Filip Hrgović by stoppage. Now, I know some of you will think I've completely lost the plot. And there are some hardcore Moses Itauma fans out there who will be having absolutely none of this. So I'm talking to you. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, if you are digging your heels in on this and backing Moses Itauma all the way, then, you know, tell me how you think he wins. Is it going to be on points? Is he going to knock out Hergovic? Is it going to be an early stoppage? Is it going to be a late stoppage? Is Moses going to go in there and be disciplined and actually get through a few rounds? I want to hear your prediction. Anyway, guys, as always, thanks for watching. And we're really excited about this one. It's going to be amazing. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one, guys. Bye-bye.